All right, so I am recording what it is that I'm doing with Cisco networking, packet tracers, some CCNA work, working with VLANs, and here pretty soon I'll be working with some WANs. But for now, I'm going through this packet tracer assignment, trying to make sure that I'm doing it properly. So really what I try to do first is figure out what it is that they're looking for, and then if what I'm doing isn't quite making the cut, then I will go back and go to my handy dandy friend here or good old Google and try to figure it out. So, and if none of those work, then I'll just email the professor. But for right now, let's see, it is telling me create the following VLANs. Names are case sensitive and must match the requirement exactly. So VLAN 10, it wants me to go in here and rename this. Did I misread that? So don't rename it. Names are case sensitive and must match the requirement exactly. So VLAN 10, faculty, staff. Well, I'm just going to copy and paste that. But I wonder why it's not letting me change notes. Annotations is locked. Okay, we don't want to change that. But that's VLAN 10. That's VLAN 10. And interesting. Okay. Got it. I see what I'm supposed to be doing. See, sometimes it just takes me a second. Sometimes it just takes me just a minute. So here we go. So this is actually wanting me to go onto S1, which is right here. And we're going to configure this. Let's see. Is it the host name is wanting me to change? Make sure I'm doing this right. Sometimes in our what you calls in our Word documents, the professors, there's like several of them, maybe 7 or something, that create these packet tracers, and they mix it up every 8 weeks, which is a lot of work because these classes are 8 weeks long, and they change them up. So sometimes, even though you might be able to find it on handy dandy YouTube, it could be a completely different set of numbers or a different addressing table or whatever. So you just kind of have to pay attention. But on here, let me also go, and this is sometimes he's hard to understand, but he's very thorough, and he explains very well. So TechACAD, and they're kind of old too, so that's why I say you have to really pay attention to what it is that you're doing and make sure it goes along with what's on your addressing table and what's on your instructions, because it might not necessarily go along with what he's doing on TechACAD over here. And really watch this guy right here, ChatGPT, because sometimes the stuff he tells you is way off. So I learned that the hard way. But anywho, okay, so here we go. So it's saying S1. Create the following VLANs. Names are case sensitive and must match the requirement exactly. So you're going to go in here. I am in the command line interface, and I'm going to oh, it's not even saying do host name. It's just saying VLAN 10. Okay. VLAN 10. That's not right. What happened? Um, Maybe I need to do interface? Oh, I bet you it's the space. That was wrong. Because it doesn't look like what it looks like over here. See, mine is off. Mine said interface. IF is for interface. And it's not supposed to say that. It's supposed to say VLAN 10. Oh. Okay, now we're in business. All right, so name AC. Make sure it's to the T because it said that it has to be in the instructions. They are case sensitive. So name, faculty, staff, put that in. Boom. Create the remaining VLANs. Okay, so then we're going to go through. We're going to create the rest. So I'm going to exit so that I can get a new VLAN. And I'm going to say VLAN 20. Boom. And I'm going to say name. Is that what I did? Okay, name. Students. Exit. VLAN 30. Name. Guest. I made sure that I did not put a space for the parentheses. And I'm going to exit again. I'm going to name this VLAN 99. Name. Well, this is all together. Management and native. Okay, exit. VLAN 150. Name, all caps. Voice. Exit. All right. And I just want to check it because this handy dandy guy right here will tell you if you're on track. So I'm 22% complete following the instructions so far. So now verify the VLAN configuration, which command will only display the VLAN name, status, and associated ports on a switch. I'm going to try show VLAN brief. See what happens. I'm going to press Control Z, get out of that. Oh, show VLAN brief. Will that show me? What does it want? It wants the VLAN name, boom. VLAN status, boom. Associated ports on a switch. Over here is where the ports are. So it looks like we gotta get some stuff in some ports. All right, so that is done. My handy dandy. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. I love a good check mark, and I love the color green. Okay, that color green is pretty. All right, so I'm such a girl. Create the VLANs on S2 and S3. Use the same commands from step 1 to create and name VLANs on S2 and S3. All right, boom. Okay, so we got the VLANs named on S1. Let's minimize that because I'm sure I'll be back. And then we're going to go to S2. Command line is open. Thank goodness there's no password right now. So we can just get right in here. And without me looking at my notes, what am I naming these? Hold on. Same command step 1 to create and name the VLANs on S2 and S3. So they're the same names though? I'm gonna say yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so config T VLAN 10 name faculty / staff exits VLAN 20 name students exits VLAN 30 guess no space with the parentheses defaults. Oh, I see what I did. Name, see? It is particular hun-TEE. Okay, we're going to exit out of that. VLAN 99. Name, management, and capital N, native, exit. VLAN 150, name, all caps, voice. All right, so there you have it for S2. And then we're going to click on switch number 3. Command line interface is up. And now we're going to name the same ones. I just need a little bit of a corner to see what I'm doing here. And we're going to enable, and then we're going to do config T. And then we're going to do VLAN 10 name faculty / staff exit VLAN 20 name students exit VLAN 30 name, guest default, exit, and we're doing VLAN 99, name, and native, VLAN 150, name, all caps, voice. Okay, so those are all named. Yes, Lord. Okay, verify the VLAN configuration, which command will only display. Oh, I forgot to do that on the S2. Okay, so we're going to Control Z, get out of that. Show VLAN brief. Boom. You got your names here. Statuses are active. Ports are here. They're going to get assigned here in just a second. Is my guess for this packet tracer. Let's see for S2, since I did not check those, we'll go here and we will Control Z, get out of that, press enter, and then we'll show VLAN brief. Boom, and there are the names that I gave it all, and I'm guessing these will be assigned too. All right, back to my instructions. Okay, use the same commands. Okay, assign VLANs to ports. See, knew that was coming. Assign VLANs to the active ports on S2. So configure the interfaces as access ports and assign the VLANs as follows. So VLAN 10 is going to be assigned to Fast Ethernet 011, which is right here. Okay, so this is my guess. Ha! We're going to figure this out. We're in S2. So before I start going to the GPTer and the Googler, let's see if I can make this make sense. Oh yeah, how am I doing on my score? Sometimes I just like to check in and see. Tap in. Let's see. 67, baby. See, I'm doing it right. I'm in the right direction. I went from 22 to 67 complete. Okay. I know I sound ridiculous with that little voice. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do VLAN. We're going to do config T. Config. We're going to configure the terminal, and we're going to configure VLAN 10. Uh-oh, no, not that. Fast. Oop, it's all one word. It's very particular that way. That's not right. Oh, I wonder if it has to be all caps. Let's see if this works. Dang it, that didn't work. Okay, interface. I'm gonna do it one more time and I'm gonna go get help. Interface VLAN 10 Fast Ethernet 011. Nope, none of those work. Oh, okay, because I don't have to do that. I just have to do interface F011. Boom. There's a part of me that knows that these instructions are right here, and I can easily just read these and say, okay, boom, 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 let me just go through it. But then there's a part of me that says, what my professor told us in CCNA1 is absolutely true. The more you do it to where you're breaking it or it's not working, then that sticks in your mind that, oh, this is the right way to do it. So then when you get in front of the computer and it's a test or a quiz, you're like, oh, yes, look at that. What did you go back? Okay, exit out or Control Z. Okay, wait a minute. Did you put this here? Did you put that? Did you put the parentheses? Did you put the hyphen? So it kind of helps you remember versus just looking at it and relying on this as your notes type thing. So, okay, switch port mode access, and we're going to do switch port mode access. Is it capitalized? Nope, VLAN 10. Oh, Mia didn't do something right. Oh, I think I put mode another time on accident. Okay. So that's for 11. Assign the remaining ports to the appropriate VLAN. So VLAN 20 goes to fast Ethernet 18. So I'm going to exit out, just go back one. I'm going to do interface F0 18. Switch port mode access. And I'm going to do switch port access VLAN 20. Is that right? Yeah, looks like I started. Okay. So it says the remaining ones, but it only gives us. So my question is, if 10 goes to 11 and 20 goes to 18, how do you know where the other ones go? Because that's not like, it doesn't, there's no correlation there. So 10 goes to FA or Fast Ethernet 11, 20 goes to Fast Ethernet, it drops down to 18, 30 goes to 6. Like, what? Are we just putting them where the heck we want to put them? Is that what they're doing here? Or just these three? That's confusing. Okay, so I'm going to do what's on the paper and I'm going to see how far I get. Okay, so that's interface F018. Now I'm going to do F0. What am I doing? 6. Switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 30. Is that on S1? Okay, yeah. Girl, stop. Did I put that on the wrong switch? What? Did I put that on the wrong switch? I think I did. That sucks. Like, we're not even assigning anything on S1. We named the VLANs, but it doesn't say to assign. Darn it. Okay, what does it say over here? Am I in the right direction or not? Oh, I'm gonna stand still on that. Okay, so let me go to S2 and we will do this on S2. So we're going to do it says 011 F01 VLAN 10. Is that right? Switch port mode access and then switch port access VLAN 10. Okay. And then exit interface. I think this one is 18. Yes. Switch port mode access. Switch port access F0. No. Switch port mode VLAN 20. Right? Okay, so now we're going to exit out of that and we're going to say interface F0. It's 6, right? Yes. 6. And we're going to switch the port to give it access. Oh! Mode access. See, it's so particular on how you word things. So I flopped the words. I put them backwards and it didn't like it. Sometimes this thing makes me laugh. Like, it is so particular. Switch port access VLAN. This is 30. Yes. Okay. So now let's go to S3, wherever you are hiding. Here it is. Put it right there, kind of cascade those. Got 1, 2, and 3. And we're going to go here and we're going to say, ooh, config T, configure terminal. I'm going to say interface F011. And we're going to say switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. And then we're going to exit and we're going to say interface F0. Dang it, what's the next one? 11 and 18. We're going to do switch port mode access. And we're going to say switch port access VLAN 20. Exit out of that, and we're going to say interface F06, switch port mode access, and then switch port access VLAN 30. How we doing? Okay. Baby, your girl is on it. Boo! What? 95. Come through. Come through, Jesus. Jesus said, I'm here. Okay. All right, here we go. So assign the voice VLAN to fast Ethernet 011 on S3. So we're already on S3 and 011 fast Ethernet was the first one. So as shown in the topology, if you don't know what the topology is, here's a topology. Let me move this over so I can get a little space to click on it for you. Here's your topology. This shows you all of your devices. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 PCs. We have 1, 2, 3 switches. These are switches. And this lovely thing here is our IP phone. Okay. So this is your topology. This shows you all of your devices that are connected. And they are connected via a, oh, doesn't let you click on it here, but it's a straight through cable. Okay. All right. So reading this, as shown in topology, the S3 fast Ethernet 011 interface connects to a Cisco IP phone and PC4. Okay, phone and PC4. The IP phone contains an integrated 3-port 10100 switch. So that's here. And I think it told us that when it, oh no, didn't mean to do that. Okay, not trying to change anything. Sorry. It gives you some information in here too. So, okay, let me just keep reading. One port on the phone is labeled switch and connects to F04. Another port on the phone is labeled PC and connects to PC4. The IP phone also has an internal port that connects to the IP phone functions. The S3 F011 interface must be configured to support user traffic to PC4 using VLAN 10 and voice traffic to the IP phone using VLAN 150. The interface must also enable QoS and trust the class of service values assigned by the IP phone. IP voice traffic requires a minimum amount of throughput to support acceptable voice communication quality. This command helps the switch port to provide this minimum amount of throughput. Okay, so we're on S3, which it asked for us to be on. Let me just get back over to S3. Okay, so I need to exit out. Oops. So I'm going to go to interface F011, MLS, QoS, and we're going to do switch port VLAN. Oops, nope. Thought I had it down. VLAN 150. Okay. Verify loss of connectivity. Previously, PCs that shared the same network could ping each other successfully. Study the output from the following command on S2 and answer the following questions based on your knowledge of communication between VLANs. Pay close attention to the gig 01 port assignment. Okay, so go to S2, it's saying, which is right here. And it's saying to do show VLAN brief. Whenever you do that, it's best just to Control Z, get back to your exec mode. And you're going to do show VLAN brief. And this here shows us which of the ports are active, which these are the 3 that I set up, 10, 20, and 30. I set up on each switch. So, oops. Oh, I look just like theirs. So mine looks just like theirs. So faculty and staff are on 11, students are on 18, and the guest is on 6. So try pinging between PC1 and 4. So in order to ping, if you don't already know, and typically I try to move the table down because sometimes you get so far into these assignments and you're like, where's my addressing table? So I like for it to be close by. So I'm going to move this down right here. And it's going to make a whole new page. Okay, so try pinging PC1 and PC4. When you ping, you simply just ping the the IP address. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to open up PC1 and I'm going to also open up PC4 and I'm just going to ping from 4 to 1 in the command prompt. So I'm going to ping, oops, and paste. And if I get a TLS, that means that it went through. If it times out for each one, then something's not right. So sometimes it takes a second, but you just have to wait for it because it's going to try 4 times to get through to the other side. Looks like it's not working. So if we get at least 1, what my professor told us, then we're in business. But it's not happening. So we're going to go back over here. We're going to go to PC1. I'm going to get the IP address for PC4 and see if it can ping going this way. Ping PC4. See what happens. First one timed out. All right, so for some reason, something's happening. It says, although the access ports are assigned to the appropriate VLANs, were the pings successful? No, they were not. Hint, says the professor, they should not be successful. And it wants us to explain what could be done to resolve this issue. So it is saying, okay, so I'm looking. PC1 is on this network right here. PC2, 3, PC4 is on the same network. They're not too far from each other as far as one is on, sits with the address 21, the other one sits with the address 24. So I'm going to answer his question because that's important. He told us in class. Answer all the questions and turn in our packet tracer. So what could be done to resolve this issue? So although the access ports are assigned to the appropriate VLANs, were the ping successful? So I'm going to do this and see what this tells me in ChatGPT. So I'm going to get a little bit on a packet tracer. Although the access ports are assigned to the appropriate VLANs, the pings were not successful between PC1 at PC1 is at 172.17110.21 and PC4 at 17110.24. What was the question again? What could be done to resolve this issue? What could be done to resolve this issue? Let's see what handy dandy GPT-4 for $21.28 a month tells me. If the access ports are assigned to the correct VLANs, but pings are unsuccessful between PC1 and PC4, here are some potential issues and steps you can take to resolve them. Oh, it's working. I'm trying to scroll and it's like, Mia, I'm working. Okay, here we go. Let me see if this makes any sense. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. Verify VLAN configuration on switches. Make sure that both PC1, PC4 are on the same. Ooh, okay. On the switches to confirm which ports are assigned to which VLAN. I think we saw, didn't we see that? Because I set them up, right? Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Look at my topology. PC1 is connected to S2. Okay, S1 is at the top, so everything has to go through S1 to get to the other side. So for PC1 to go ding, 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 I connect to PC4. It has to go through S2 up to S1, down to S3, through this phone over here. So it's telling me make sure that everything is properly configured here. So starting with number 1, enable privilege exec mode, show VLAN brief. So faculty and staff, 11.18.6. Guest default. Is that what I typed? Did I type guest default? I'm just making sure. Oh yeah, I did type guest default. You know what? How come? Oh, I just named 99 and 150. We didn't assign anything to them. Okay, so let's go back. Find S2. Oh, last thing I did was show VLAN brief. I mean, I can do it again, but it's right there. So same information. Yeah, something's up. Okay, last go to S3 and they're right here too. Wait, nope. Oh, wait, hold on. So let's control Z, show VLAN brief. Oh, look. Tricky, this professor. Okay. So look, I did not do that, but that was already configured inside here somehow. And it wasn't up here. Okay, so what's the dealio? So what could be done to resolve this issue? So somehow, I'm gonna make note of this. He said put it in a different color. I make all of my answers green and no, we're gonna say this. He's gonna laugh when he sees my stuff. Unbeknownst to me. Let's see. Which one is this? So VLAN 150. This means that SA011 is dually assigned. This is my guess, so I'm hoping this is right. Causing an interruption of pings from PC1 to PC4. Okay, so can I go and This is my guess. So typically you can just put like no connection. So let's say we do config T and we say interface F011, switch port mode access. How about we do no switch port access? Oh, I did do that. I just saw that. I forget what that means. It told us up here. That was that part I was reading, but I was like, what am I reading exactly? Okay. The S3 F011 interface must be configured to support user traffic to PC4 using VLAN 10 and voice traffic to the IP phone using VLAN 150. The interface must also enable QoS and trust the class of service values assigned by the IP phone. IP voice traffic requires a minimum amount of throughput to support acceptable voice. Okay, this command helps. Pardon me, you all. The switch port to provide this minimum amount of throughput. Okay, so it's supposed to be configured like that. So apparently, I'm not pressing enter on this because I don't want it to go through. Let's see. Show. I don't know. Are assigned to the appropriate VLANs where the ping successful. Ah! He talked about trunk ports in class. He mentioned trunk ports like 5 times on Thursday. Let's see. If PC1 and PC4 are connected to different switches, ensure that the link between the switches is configured as a trunk port. A trunk port allows traffic from multiple VLANs to pass between them. So configure terminal. I think that's it. So I'm just going to put trunk port here and see if this helps. So we're going to go to, what are we on? S3? Where's S3? And how do you know which one to put it on? So ensure that the link between the switches. Okay. Ensure that the link between the switches is configured as a trunk port. So I think I have to do this on all the switches. So I'm on S3, so I'll have to do config terminal interface name switch port mode trunk. Let's see if this works. Whoa, line protocol interface change state to down, line protocol interface change state to up. Okay, so that's on S3. So let's go on down to S2. Config terminal interface S011. I guess this is right. Switch port mode trunk. Okay, I did not exit over here. And then we're going to go to 1 and we're going to say config T interface F011. Switch port mode trunk. Okay. Switch port mode trunk. Let's see if this works. After configuring the trunk, make sure it allows the relevant VLAN. I like this one. Let's try this. I wonder if it'll let me do it in just config. Nope. It's like you need to be somewhere specific. Really? It won't do it? Okay. Huh. So do I have to do this? Switchboard trunk allowed. Switchboard trunk allowed. Oops. Verify enter VLAN routing. Hold on. How am I doing here? Yes! Oh, feels so good when you get these right. 100, baby. 100. Okay. That's ChatGPT making me do extra stuff. So we're going to go in here and say, what could be done to resolve this issue? Setting up an allowed trunk port via I'm watching the NBA channel. It's muted. And man, they're showing some old stuff. And it's not super old, but it's like Jason Kidd, Dirk Nowitzki. That's when that team was like my everything. Okay. Because I love a good game of basketball. And those guys are just cool guys, hardworking, great ethics. I'm all about that. Okay. Import via trunk port via the following command line prompt. So I did at S1 config, I did interface F0 11, and then I did at S1 config IF switch port trunk allowed VLAN 150. Okay. And that's it. Put it all synchronized in the same color. Here we go. All right, y'all. So there you have it. It is all done and complete. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, I'm going to close out of these switches. Everything should be green and a go. All right. Took me just under an hour to get that done. So I'm sure there's some of you all out there who can do this in like 10 minutes, but I am excited that I did it. Oh, look, no, I did it in like 43 minutes. Yay! Getting faster. All right. So I hope this helps someone out there who is learning CCNA, Cisco networking. This stuff is very different from anything that I've taken so far in cybersecurity studies that I've done. It makes a whole lot of sense why there are people who feel like you have to know this stuff in order to work in cybersecurity. My goal is to go into governance, risk, and compliance, but I enjoy a challenge and seeing to it that I overcome that challenge. And this is one of those that when you look at the topology, you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? But when you break it down, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because everything has to connect somehow. And you have these little central areas that make things connect, right? So, yeah, once you break it down and you know how to go inside and configure and make sure that you have your addresses in the right place and they all make the right sense and use a little math, you're good to go. So I hope you all have a great night. Thank you so much for watching, and catch me on the next one.